today we're in section 12.4, learning surface area of cylinders. So this lesson is really similar to the lesson we learned yesterday with formulas, except it's going to be a different formula. So you want to know what the formula is? Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you. All right, the formula to find the surface area of a cylinder is SA equals 2 pi RH plus 2 pi r squared, where R stands for the radius and H stands for the height. R for radius and H for height. Why do you think, well, this should look familiar to you, right? Pi r squared? Mm-hmm. Where else do you see pi r squared?
Area of a circle.
Area of a circle. So why do you think you multiply that by 2? Because there's two bases, right? There's two circular bases on either side of the cylinder. And then this first term right here, that gives me the actual surface area around the cylinder. All right, so first part of the formula, surface area around. Second part is the surface area of the two bases. All right, so take a minute, just write down that formula. All right, so we're going to take these dimensions from the cylinder and we're going to plug them into our formula and use 3.14 for pi. The substitutions, it's going to take up a little bit of room on your line. But guys, it's not difficult. It's just a lot of numbers that we're actually plugging in and multiplying. So 2 times 3.14, which we said is our value for pi, times r, what's our value for radius? Times h, which is 8, plus 2 pi r squared. Now, one thing we need to pay attention to is this exponent right here. This exponent means that I've got to follow order of operation. So when I'm evaluating this term, and if you put it in your calculator, it will do it for you. But remember, we always evaluate the exponent before we multiply by the other terms. So here's what I want you to do. I know we've talked about the fact that this next step is optional, which is true. But I want you to simplify each group of these terms. Simplify each one. I just think really to try to avoid making mistakes, we don't want to put in too much into our calculator at once, because even one button that we hit wrong will give us the wrong answer. So go ahead and simplify both groups of terms. All right, so when we simplify, what did you get? SA equals... Okay, so you went ahead and added them together. Okay, so it should have been 150.72 plus 56.52. All right, and remember, this step, yes, is optional. You don't necessarily have to show it, but it's a good idea. And then we round it to the nearest whole number. So on your homework tonight, we've kind of, in first hour, we kind of danced back and forth. Well, do we just write out the answer with decimals? I think it's just a little easier if we just round everything to the nearest whole number. All right, so you won't be penalized if that's what you do on your homework. So it's about 207 centimeters squared. All right, that's another thing about this lesson. There's going to be a lot of decimals. Nothing is going to be an exact answer. There's too much involved with exponents and our pi values to really produce an even answer. All right, so you think you can do one? All right, here we go. All right, plug these numbers into your formula. Remember, original formula, exactly how you see it in the book. Original formula, then make your substitutions, then answer. So we start off with our formula. We make our substitutions, and it's kind of lengthy. And then we use our calculators to simplify each term. Each group of terms. Surface area equals 251.2 or just 251 millimeters squared. Make sure you square the label. And remember, what I have highlighted, you don't have to show that step, even though it is a good idea. All right, so in the next example, I want you to turn in your books to page 603. Turn in your books to page 603. You see the picture of the girl on the balance board? You see it? Okay. So has anybody ever done one of those?
No.
A balance board? All right, I don't know how good I'd be. I don't know how good I'd be at that. But anyway, so this is a balance board example. It said it rocks back and forth on a wooden cylinder. Okay, so that's what we're learning today. The cylinder has a radius of 3 inches and a surface area of 245 square inches. So now it gives us surface area. Find the height of the cylinder. We still use our formula. All right, same formula, same template. But now we make our substitution and we plug in 245 for surface area. It goes on the other side of the equal sign, 245. Equals, and we start plugging in our values. 2, what value do we use for pi? 3.14. And it tells me the radius is 3, but I do not know the height. So I make all my substitutions, but now in the midst of all these numbers, here's my variable that I'm solving for, right in the middle of all of that. Well, let me ask you this. Is there anything I can simplify? There's plenty that I can simplify. So go ahead and multiply the numbers that you can. 2 times 3.14 times 3. And then still keep the h connected to that number. Just simplify the multiplication part. All right, what'd you get?
18.84 plus
H. You don't forget your h, plus. Okay, so now this should look familiar to you guys. Do you have this written down? Yes. That's a 2-step equation. Now, it has decimals, and yeah, we don't like decimals, but are they a big deal if we have our calculators? No. It's still the same process. I have to get h by itself. I have to solve for h. So I move what's not connected to my variable first. So what do I move first? 56.52. Would I add it or subtract it? Subtract from both sides. So once I subtract from both sides, I now rewrite. Okay, so here, guys, those of you who don't like showing work, if you don't show your steps, it's very unlikely that you're going to get the right answer. You have to show your steps. So show how you subtract from both sides, rewrite your equation, and now how do you solve for h?
You put 18.84.
Not put, but what operation is that? What operation is put? Divide. Divide both sides by 18.84. And you get your answer. Round to the nearest whole number. It's about 10 inches. So in working number 4 on the bottom of page 603, again, we use our original formula, and now we make our substitutions. We know the surface area is 9,700 square feet, okay, and our radius is 20. So we're going to make our substitutions. What do we do now? You've got to simplify, and guys, I can't stress this enough. Rewrite the equation. Did you rewrite it? Okay, rewrite the equation because you have to be able to physically see this 2-step equation. All right, did you get this far? Did you get this far? So now that you have a 2-step equation, what do you do next? Subtract from both sides. 2,512. And now rewrite your equation again with your variable. So now you can clearly see that you need to divide both sides by 125.6 to get approximately 57 feet. All right, and if you understand that, that's everything you need to know for 12.4.